morning, Year 8. So today we're going to be doing angles on parallel lines. This is all from Year 7's work, and you should know all of this already, but I want you to copy all the notes down in your workbook, and I'll go through it with you to remind you. So the first type we have is alternate angles. They will form a Z shape. So if you look here at the red dots, if we go around it with your red pen, around the angle, around the other angle, and make sure you join them in the middle, you'll see you've formed a Z. Over here, with the two little crosses, if we go around this angle and around the other angle, join them in the middle, and you have formed a back to front Z. So if it forms a Z or a back to front Z, they are alternate angles. You can have alternate angles without parallel lines. So I could draw two lines with a line crossing it. So we have two lines and a transversal, that's the name of the line crossing them. And we could still have alternate angles. They still form a Z shape. But there's nothing special happening with them. So you can see when you look at them, the size of them, they don't look the same. But if you look at them when the lines are parallel, they do look the same size. So the alternate angles are equal on parallel lines. So you can still have alternate angles without parallel lines, but they won't be equal. So mostly what we'll be doing is using this. Alternate angles are equal on parallel lines. Okay, over here we have corresponding angles. Corresponding angles form an F shape. So if we have a look at the red dots here, go around the angle and go around the other angle and join them in the middle, you'll see we formed an F shape. Over here, we go around these crosses, around this angle, around the other angle, and join them in the middle. We have formed a back to front F. And over here, if we go around this angle and around this angle and join them in the middle, we've got an upside down F. And over here, if we go around the angle and around the other angle, we've got an upside down back to front F. So all those four versions of F say that we're dealing with corresponding angles. If the lines are parallel, those corresponding angles will be equal. So corresponding angles are equal on parallel lines. In number 3, we're dealing with co-interior angles. They form a C shape. So again, go around the angle and around the other angle and join them in the middle. And you can see the C shape that we have forming. Same with these ones. Go around the angle, around the other angle, join them in the middle, and you have a back to front C. So they're called co-interior angles. Now you can see by looking at these, they are definitely not equal. This angle looks like an acute angle. This angle looks like an obtuse angle. So there's definitely not going to be equal. So for these ones, they actually add up to 180 degrees on parallel lines. Same over here. This one looks like an acute angle. This one looks like an obtuse angle. They're definitely not equal. So if they don't look equal, they're definitely not going to be equal. So the co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees on parallel lines. So you need to know these 3 things. You need to know how to learn them off by heart and know how they work. They are the reasons you're going to be using in geometry when we are dealing with parallel lines. We're going to start the examples. First one's fairly easy. It says name the type of angle pair. So a type of angle, you're not going to give it an angle in degrees because that's not a type. A type is a word. So we're going to give a word answer here for the angle pair. So we'll look at the angle pair they've given us. Here's your 2 angles. Go around the angle and around the other angle. Now, when you're looking at it, you have to make sure that the parallel lines are going across the page like they were in all my diagrams. So with this one here, we have to look at this with the parallel lines going across the page, like this. And if we do that, I'm going to draw what I'm looking at. You'll have an F shape. So if we have an F shape like that, that means they are corresponding angles. So all they're asking for here are word answers for the type. They are called corresponding angles. So over here, the same thing. Go around the angle and around the other angle. Join them in the middle. Now, I deliberately haven't given you any parallel lines here, but as I said before, you don't have to have parallel lines to have alternate corresponding or co-interior angles. It's just whether they're equal or adding up to 180 that happens with the parallel lines. So we're going to look at the two lines that look like they're parallel, even though they're not marked as parallel. Look at those going across the page like this. And I'm going to draw what I'm looking at. It's that shape. That's a Z. So they must be alternate angles. Now, some of you are going to get these words mixed up, so it's up to you how you're going to remember this. I always look at it by saying that starts with A and it forms a Z. So the first letter of the alphabet goes with the last letter of the alphabet. The other two, you can try and work out your own way of remembering those because they both start with a C, but only one of them can be the C shape, so you have to remember those two. Okay, in the next video we're going to do some more examples.